Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Zsuzsi. How are you all doing? What is it you're reading? What is the temperature where you live? Because here, this is the end of September and currently outside it's like 27, 28 Celsius and it's getting to me. It's getting to me. Fall should be fall, okay? That's all I'm saying. In today's video, I want to discuss 11 new book releases with you guys for fall, like September, October, November. As I am filming this is the end of September, so I am fully aware that this video is going out a little bit late. I didn't film in September, but I'm hoping that you will still find those 3 books that I have on my list for September, you know, interesting. And if you have not heard of these books or seen these books in the bookstores or online or whatever, then, you know, maybe you can just put these ones on your TBR. The very first book on the list is Immortal Dark by Tigges Gurma, and this came out on September 3rd. And look, when I heard what this book was about, like this is technically a YA, vampire, dark academia fantasy book, I was like, maybe not for me. When you say YA and vampire, that is automatically trauma to me because I immediately think of Twilight. I hated the books, I hated movies or whatever that is, and I'm like, no thank you. This is something that I don't need in my life. But the author is a debut author, and also she's Australian, she's living in Melbourne, and I was like, okay, you know what, I really want to support this lady. And this book is a first in a trilogy, and by the way, I saw this book in person. It's absolutely gorgeous. The cover, the sprayed edges, absolutely gorgeous. Now, when it comes to the content of this book, the female protagonist is human, and she basically have to infiltrate a secret society at this super elite university. And apparently at this university, humans and vampires study to ensure the peace that is between humans and vampires. And she needs to somehow befriend and live with the vampire that she suspects to kill her family and kidnap her sister, because that is her mission, to somehow save her sister from the vampires. The next book is An Academy of Liars by Alexis Henderson, and this came out on September 17th. And this is a hard book to talk about because even after reading the summary or the synopsis multiple times, I still cannot tell you exactly what this book is about. I know that it's dark academia because it takes place again at a university. I know that it's dark, I know that it's gothic, and some people say that there are horroristic elements to it. Well, I don't know, it is officially advertised as a dark academic fantasy. In this book, our main character will be Lennon, and Lennon has the power of persuasion. And because she has this power, she gets accepted into this elite university, college, whatever. And when she gets into the college, she has to uncover the dark past of this college, whatever that means. The third book on my list is The Graveyard Shift by Emma Rio, and this is something that came out on September 24th, and this is a horror novella. And in this little novella that basically takes place during one single night, there are 5 strangers who all have very different jobs, but they always work the night shift. And every night they go to a churchyard, they go to a cemetery where they have a meeting. And this night is no different than that. And then they see a hole in the ground in the cemetery, and there should be no graves there. So they are like, wait, what is happening? And while they are there meeting each other, the gravedigger returns, and then they decide to follow this gravedigger throughout the night, and our story unfolds. This sounds fantastic, and I am definitely picking this book up this fall. Now, the next book on my list, or I should say the next 2 books on my list, they are witchy romance books that are taking place in the fall. So, you know, it is it's something that I need in my life. When it comes to the very first one, which is Impractical Magic, and this is coming out on October 1st. I don't know how I feel about this one because the ratings for this book, they're not so good. And this is supposed to be a cozy second chance romance in a small town taking place in autumn. So, you know, it's like, sign me up, I don't need to know more. Our main character is Scarlett, who is a witch, and she receives a call from her estranged sisters, and they are like, Scarlett, we don't know how, we don't know what happened, but mom is cursed. You gotta come back, you gotta come home, and we need to work this out. So she does, and then she meets her ex, and she has to deal with her ex. And the next book is Best Hex Ever by Nadia. I gotta look at my notes. Nadia El Fassi, and this is also coming out on October 1st. And this is a debut novel, a debut romance that is supposed to be super spicy. Now, these are the notes that I made during my research on this book. It's romance, it's London in the fall, it's pastries, magic, witches, and love. And again, that's all I need. Say less. I need to read this book. Our main character is Dina, and Dina owns a London bakery because she is a pastry chef and she's also a witch. And her pastries have magical abilities. She sounds so good, but she has a cursed love life. And so far, she has not found anybody worthy to break this hex for, until she goes to a wedding and she meets a man. And the next book, again, this is something that I need in my life. This is How to Summon a Fairy Godmother. And this is coming out on October 8th. Now, our main character in this book is, I'm just gonna call her Theo because I have no idea what her name is or how you pronounce her name. More precisely, is it Theodosia? Is it Theodosia? I have no idea. But Theo is our main character, and she has an evil stepsister who is also the crown princess. And basically this crown princess has been doing nothing else but bad-mouthing Theo and also her mother, and this basically like completely destroys their reputation. And because of that, she has, you know, no other choice but to marry this guy, marry this duke who only wants to use her to, you know, produce some heirs. She is desperate for help, and because of that, she summons the fairy godmother. The fairy godmother who apparently helped her sister becoming the crown princess. But this fairy godmother, she's like drop dead gorgeous, she's very vicious, she's very cunning, she's very devious. And she definitely has a hidden agenda. She wants no peace, and she doesn't necessarily want to help Theo. And before Theo can receive this magical assistance, she needs to complete 3 tasks to prove that she is worthy, that she is kind, and she will have to do it with the magical creatures. And apparently there is a fox among these magical creatures. So again, just sign me up, that the fairy godmother assigned to her, because they are technically the familiars of the fairy godmother, right? Come on, sign me up. Okay, the next book on the list is a horror book. This is Stay in the Light by A.M. Shine, and this is coming out on October 22nd, and this is the second book. This is the continuation of The Watchers that I read in August, right? I love the book. The movie, let's not go there. Let's not go there. This video is not about that. I really like The Watchers and I want to read the sequel. And this is coming out on October 22nd. Now the next book is technically a dark fae fantasy, a historical dark fae fantasy, and that is The Scholar of the Lost Fairy Door by G. Perry, and this is taking place in the 1920s in Camford, England. One of our main characters in this story is Clover, and Clover is a commoner and she has no magical blood, but she basically fought her way through life to get into this magical academy because she is desperate to cure her brother. Her brother who was injured during a fairy attack in one of the battles of World War I. And apparently during this attack, like we don't know how or what happened, but there was this door open between our world and the fairy world, and it got closed. And at this academy she meets a boy named Alden, and they get into a blossoming friendship, but apparently they conduct an experiment that all go awry, and basically they open this fairy door again. And now years later, Clover basically have to deal with the consequences. And the next book on my list is a very, very, very famous fantasy book that is now picked up by a publisher, and that is Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wong, and this is coming out on October 29th. And I think that at this stage everybody has heard of this book, and I kind of feel bad that I didn't pick up the self-published version, but anyways, this is something that I pre-ordered because it sounds so good. It's also got some sciencey stuff in there, and this book is about a female main character who wanted to do the impossible, and she basically becomes the very first female scientist at this very prestigious academy called the High Magistry. And while she's working there at that High Magistry, apparently she will discover a couple of dark secrets. I cannot wait to read this book. The next book on my list is a fae romantasy book, The Courting of Bristol Keats, and this is coming out on November 12th. And surprise, surprise, the main female character in this book is Bristol Keats, and she's living with her sister, and unfortunately their parents are dead, and they can, you know, barely survive, barely stay afloat. But then Bristol starts receiving letters from somebody who calls herself her aunt, and although reluctantly, but she agrees to meet this aunt because she needs help. And then it turns out that basically everything about her life is a lie, and there is a chance that her father is still alive. He was not killed, but he was kidnapped by monstrous creatures who are from another realm, the fairy realm, and she basically needs to do a bargain with the Fae King to try to save her father. The Fae King is also looking for her father, but not to save him. And the last book on my list is also a romantasy book, but probably many of you have already heard about it. This is the newest Carissa Broadbent release that is coming out on November 19th, and I don't remember the title because I'm telling you, I cannot remember the title of the Carissa Broadbent books. The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. Who can remember that? Who can remember that title? And this is basically the spin-off series of that vampire book. What was the title of that book? The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I don't know the title for the second book. Don't ask me, don't ask me. But this book is now following another set of characters. The woman, Misha. And with all honesty, I kinda enjoyed the first two books because of Misha. So I think I'm going to pick this one up. Well guys, this is it. This is the end of my list. These are the 11 books that I wanted to show you, that I wanted to bring to your attention. Let me know if you are interested in any of these books. Now hit share, like, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. I am going to leave a couple of other videos on the screen, probably here and here, for you to check out while you are waiting for my upcoming video. And it's coming very soon. Bye!